It's the last round of home and away fixtures with only 2 games today, and we're at GBSC Sports Park with the second place Brigades hosting the third place Northampton. And in earlier games today, some interesting results with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. In the Colts, Northampton 6-10-46 defeated Brigades 2 goals 4-16. In the reserves, Brigades 9-10-63 defeated Northampton 1-3-9. And of course there is another game being played today at Greenock Oval with the 4th place Rovers hosting the 6th place Mullawar. And in earlier games with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton, in the Colts, Mullawar have started the day well. Mullawar 10-13-73 defeated Rovers 7-3-45. In the reserves, Mullawar 11-10-76 defeated Rovers 4-3-27. And we are here at GBSC Sports Park this afternoon. As you know, it's some beautiful conditions for footy. A lot of rain early in the week. The sun is shining now. The oval's in reasonable condition and we're set for a big game of footy. Brigades are warming up at the Chapman River end of the ground, the northern end of the ground. Northampton are getting ready at the Geraldton City end of the ground. And Northampton and Brigades will probably come across each other, of course, in the finals. At this stage, it is Brigades in second spot. And we don't expect Northampton to be able to get enough percentage out of today's win to get, if they were to win, to get over top of Brigades into second spot. Rovers, likewise, Rovers are in 4th spot. Rovers are expected to defeat Mullawar today, but we don't know. The margin would have to be quite substantial if they were to push their way into second spot. The umpires for this afternoon's game, we've got Brian Baker, Kevin Osborne and Theo Bennett doing the job for the GNFL this afternoon. And the goal umpires are now walking to get into position. And we're about to get the big one underway this afternoon from GBSC Sports Park. And, of course, we'll be bringing you the scores from Point and Building Company's scoreboard. But our first term, of course, is by Warren Taylor Homes. Good afternoon to Warren and the team from Warren Taylor Homes this afternoon on Drennan O'Malley Motors game day. Peter, we've been cooped up all week with all the rain throughout the Midwest, but it's lovely to be at the footy today and a good crowd in anticipation for what should be a very good game. 2 Final Four sides, and this will give them the momentum. A good performance today to go into the finals full of confidence.
Yes, Glenn, and as you say that, I think Brigades won the toss, and they have about a 1 to 2 goal breeze favouring the Chapman River end. So it is a big game for Brigades. They've been out of form the last couple of weeks, Glenn. So their coach in Corey Foote will be looking for a big one today. But Northampton want to assert themselves also going into the finals to call all the action in the first term in our final home and away fixture for season 2022 is Mr. Football Glenn Barndon.
Yes, and looking forward to a really good contest. Both sides are a little bit underdone today. Northampton got 4 of 5 players unavailable today, and Brigades likewise. So both sides will be improved as they go into the finals next weekend. But an opportunity for them to get some momentum, as I mentioned. Ball in the centre. Umpire Theo Bennett, the best bouncer in the game, bounces it into the ground and gets it into the air. And we're underway in our match of the day with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors as Northampton go forward now. A good kick from Callum Teakle. Teakle, the big ruckman for the Rams, gets it up towards full forward, looking up there for Nathaniel Murrumbine. And the ball goes out of bounds and there'll be a boundary throw in the forward pocket. Interesting to see that... we have a 100 gamer today, and we have that 100 game is to Trent Simpson from the Northampton Footy Club. Picked up by that man now, gets the boot the ball, picked up now by Normington. Umpires picked out a free kick, and it'll go the way of the Northampton player Trent Simpson. Trent Simpson, as I mentioned, playing his 100th game, and Trent's been a very good player over a lot of years, had a lot of injuries along the way, but it's good to see him back playing good footy, and he's kicked a few bags of goals this year, and they would be hoping the Rams can do that again this afternoon. So Trent Simpson lining up for goal, 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle, and can get the first score on the board in this first term, and get Northampton away to a flyer in the opening 30 seconds. There goes the kick from Simpson. Looks pretty good off the boot. The pink ball goes through. And on the Point and Building Company scoreboard, Northampton a 1 goal straight. Brigades are yet to score.
Yes, first blood to Brigades. I should say Northampton kicking toward the southern end against the breeze. As we mentioned, Brigades won the toss and are kicking to the Chapman River end. Have a 2 goal breeze at their back. beautiful conditions for football, about 23 degrees in downtown Geraldton, and a reasonable crowd in attendance to watch this game this afternoon. And players moving back into position now. See if Brigades can answer early. As we know, Nathaniel Murrumbine will be going for a game's record today, if he can surpass that, of goals kicked by Dale Williamson in his opposition. The ball coming out of the middle now, goes away of Northampton. They quickly get bottled up, and the ball will be thrown up once again. Free kick going the way of Brigades on this occasion, and it is Hayden Johnson, the big ruckman, who has it. He kicks a big ball into the half-forward area. Up goes Dale Williamson. Push forward. Over the back of the pack it goes. Is it picked up by Brigades? Yes, it is. They go back through traffic. Eventually the whistle does sound because it is Northampton who come out of that passage of play a little better, but the umpire is calling it back because the free kick has gone the way of Dale Williamson. So, interesting, Glenn. The two key forwards getting kicks early in the game. Dale Williamson obviously dealt with later after getting rid of the ball, or a late call by the umpire, because he was pushed forward in a marking attempt. The kick from Williamson. Geez, he kicked it well on that occasion, straight through the middle, and it is a goal apiece here on Drennan O'Malley game day. There's 1 goal to Brigades and 1 goal to Northampton.
And as you mentioned, Peter, Dale Williamson sits atop of the GNFL League goal scoring, and Dale Williamson before today's game had 46 goals. He's kicked his first, so he's now on 47 goals. And Nathaniel Murrumbine, as you mentioned, the Northampton leading forward, has 41 goals. And then we have Jesse Adamini from Railways with 40 goals, Jack Cocking with Railways 32, and Alex Newton from Railways 29, and Alex kicked 7 of those last week against Mullawa. The umpires wearing the Indigenous round Guernseys today. The umpires are umpires Baker, Bennett and Osborne. Umpire back in the centre now. Umpire Baker puts the ball into the air, and the big fellas go at it, and Hayden Johnson gets the best for Brigades. Ball comes to the ground, goes the way of the hard-working player there in Ben O'Brien. Ball is held to him, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up again. Beautiful conditions for football, and as Peter mentioned, a good crowd in attendance. Lovely to be out in the sun this afternoon. Everyone is enjoying it as Hayden Johnson slaps the ball forward, goes the way of Ryder. He goes by hand, looking for some support, but is picked up now by the player there who gets the ball forward in Caddy. Caddy gets it up towards half forward there for Northampton. Picked up now by Brigades player there in Joel Patrick. Joel goes out towards centre wing, but it's picked up by Dylan Corbett for Northampton. The wingman gets it up towards half forward, where he finds Jamie Williams.
Jamie Williams, good to see him back in the lineup. An injury last year had him out of football for a little while, but he's going to be a key to their finals prospects, one would think, for the Rams. So he's going to have a shot on goal. He'll kick from about 40 metres when he gets onto this one, kicking toward the southern end of GBSC Sports Park, the city end. The kick's not going to make it, or is it? Geez, it did in the end, but it was inaccurate and through for the minor score. So there's been a bit of action at each end of the ground early. That's a good sign, Glenn. This game is going to be a tough one played between two tough combatants. I remember being at the game in Northampton earlier this year, and it was a fiercely contested game on that occasion as well, as the ball comes out of defence now for Brigades and finds the boundary. Kalani Barton is in the mix, so too is the player there in Nathan Woodcock. So the ball about to be thrown in front of the dugout for Northampton, not far from the club rooms here at GBSC Sports Park, home of the Brigades Footy Club. The ball in the middle there goes the way of Bortolo gets it out to this fella. I liked his last game that we saw, Glenn. That's the big ruckman. That's he takes a beautiful mark, and now we'll have a shot on goal, and that is Liam Campbell. Michael Tuckish, we've referred to him as. So Liam Campbell will now have a shot on goal. He'll kick from about 30 metres. It's a nice big kick. Looks pretty accurate. Yes, it is. It's straight through the middle. And Northampton are answering every challenge by Brigades in the early stages of our Drennan O'Malley game day here on Radio Mama.
Yeah, Peter, you mentioned that game that we were up at Northampton with Drennan O'Malley Motors game day. It was round 9, and it was a really good contest. Northampton ended up winning that by 10 points on the day. So a good tight contest that was, and let's hope today.
If memory serves me correct, Glenn, was in probably the last 10 minutes of the game as well.
That's right. So looking at the Point and Building Company scoreboard. Northampton are 2-1-13. They lead the Brigades side, 1 goal straight 6. Ball back in the centre. Once again, Callum Teakle doing the rucking for Northampton. Johnson doing the rucking for Brigades. He gets the best of it, but is roved by Dylan Corbett. Corbett runs through the centre now. Big kick up towards half forward, looking up there for some movement from Woodcock. Ball comes the way of Sam Millett. He slaps the ball out, looking there for Castleton. Castleton's kick's a poor one. Comes straight back towards the Northampton player there who gets the ball forward to Bartolo. Bartolo gets it up towards the forward pocket, off hands, and the ball will be thrown back in the right forward pocket here at GBSC Sports Park. So, a really entertaining game. 13 points Northampton, 6 points are Brigades. The first 7 minutes of this first term with thanks to our friends at Warren Taylor Homes as Kim Schofield sees the ball across the boundary line again. Playing for the Pink Footies this afternoon, and the ball will be brought back into play. So boundary umpire puts the ball back into play. Big fellas go at it. Johnson wins it forward, then goes back in to retrieve it. Picked up now again by the Brigades player in Ismail. He gets it upfield looking for Jordan O'Brien. Feeds it out looking there for Patrick, but then goes Corbett. Corbett cleverly slaps the ball in front. Ball running free. Brigades under pressure. Sippler gets the kick out. Comes out towards Kalani Barton. Barton for Brigades. Gets it up towards centre wing. Clubroom side. Nobody home for the Hawks. And a good mark taken by Jordan Murrumbine, the half-backer from Northampton.
Yeah, it's centre wing. Murrumbine sends it back up the wing. It finds the hands of Tyler Caddy. Caddy sends it inboard now. A nice kick just across the corridor. Players weren't able to collect it. The ball spills free. Running through to get it now is a big man once again. He tries to get it inside the corridor once again, but alas, it goes through for the minor score. Out of defence now, Aaron McCartney. Played a few games for Brigades in his day. Has a premiership. Will he be able to back that up this year? The ball going into the middle of the ground now for the Hawks. Goes the way of Ryder. Ryder misses what he should have taken. The ball goes into space. It's now picked up by the player there in Wright. Wright sends it inboard and finds good hands in there. Nice mark is taken on this occasion by Callum Teakle, but Teakle kicks it straight to the opposition. And the mark is taken by Drew McGregor.
McGregor gets it over towards Schofield. Schofield goes across the ground, looking again, finds Sippler. Sippler, in fact, is Mick Quick. Mick Quick gets the ball up the ground. It's on half forward now. So Brigades have the ball, moving it forward. They get a short pass, goes the way there of Schofield. Kim Schofield kicks it in towards full forward, picked up there by Ryder. This time Christopher Ryder puts it on his left boot, slams it through. And on the Point and Building Company scoreboard, it is Brigades 2 goals straight, 12. They trail Northampton 2-1-13. And you're on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL footy, with thanks to Drilling O'Malley Motors and Warren Taylor Homes.
Well, Glenn, Sports Chat Saturday this morning, thanks to Mitchell and Brown. You were speaking with Dale Baines, of course, a legend in the GNFL. And I wasn't quite sure if I heard all the conversation, but do you know if he'll be coaching Towns again next year?
He seemed pretty keen. He seems to think that they took steps forward. So, yeah, no, I think he's pretty keen to do the job. This was his 4th year, so he's had a pretty tough task. And it is a pretty tough task because the players that the Towns have turned over in recent times, they've been better than average players, exceptional players like him. And, you know, I was reading out some of his own achievements. You look at a player who's won a 2006 JJ Clune medalist, picked in the GNFL's All-Star side of 60 years, picked in the Towns All-Star side of 70 years, and only this year has been outgunned by Dale Williamson, who's outscored him on the goal-kicking tally. But we know that Dale Williamson's played a lot of long footy, and so too has Dale Williamson.
And I'll say this with trepidation, though, but I'm sure he would have been amongst the better players selected in All-Stars for the Australian country side as well, Glenn, in his day, Dale Baines. Ball back in the middle, though, and it's knocked down by Brigades on this occasion. They'll need another goal. They're trying to get it as it comes out the way of Ryder to Ryder, and it's Ryder who's going to get the free kick. He was pushed out of the road. In fact, it's gone the way of the player there in Clay Sippler wearing the helmet. He kicks to the outer side. McGregor's there. Brigades play on now. Goes away of Schofield. Straight into the boot he goes, or slippers straight into the ball. And below the scoreboard, it comes off hands and spills over the boundary. The scoreboard reading Hawks 2 straight goals. the Rams 2-1. It's just a point the difference here as we near quarter time.
Ball to be taken back into play in front of the scoreboard. Goes the way of Northampton. Whistle on play. Umpires picked out a free kick. A player's being held while not in possession. So an opportunity now for Brigades. And that's Jack Deschamps. Deschamps, who started the season very well, probably a little bit quieter in recent times, but he's still a very, very good player. Jack Deschamps, 48 metres out from goal, kicking to the Chapman River end. There goes the kick from Deschamps. Looks pretty good off the boot. Pack into the air, off hands, goes the way of Northampton. Northampton cleverly get it out, goes the way of Bartolo. Bartolo kicks the ball, but unfortunately his kick is a poor one. Goes straight into the arms of Kalani Barton, and Barton for Brigade sends the ball back up towards the forward line. Pack into the air, almost another great mark to a player there from Brigades, but off hands, and a free kick's been picked out. Go the way of Ethan Brown, and we've played 12 minutes in this first term with thanks to Warren Taylor Holmes.
And the runner will have to go out and wipe the blood from the nose of Christopher Ryder. Then Glenn, he got right up into the air, but unfortunately a little bit too early. Wasn't able to take the mark. The ball coming out of defence now. They go across goal defensively. Always worry about that in our competition. The ball on the far side. It's with Northampton. They kick it down to centre wing, and gee, almost on the run. A nice mark was taken down there. They play on now. Does Jordan Murrumbine. Almost collected. He kicks into the man on the mark. A bit of a pack does develop, but a free kick has gone the way of the Brigades player, and that player is Williamson, who's gone right down the ground. Williamson playing in the middle, so to speak. So the ball comes across the centre of the ground, goes the way of Mick Quick. He's dealt with a little late, and now will be the recipient of a 50-metre kick.
Yeah.
So a little bit soft maybe in the end, but yeah, so Mick Quick will go right into the goal square here. Dale Williamson, Glenn, playing down the ground.
Yes, going to help his side out wherever he can see a gap. So Mick Quick has been gifted a goal. 50 metres is a big penalty these days, and we see it even at AFL level. We saw it a couple of times last night where players give away a stupid 50-metre penalty. And I'm sure coach of Northampton there in Grady Tomlin will be disappointed with Kieran Harris giving away that 50-metre penalty. And Mick Quick gets his first of the afternoon. And on the scoreboard for Point and Building Company, it is Brigades. 3 goals straight. They lead Northampton 2-1. And Brigades have taken the lead quite constructively for the first time. As we head to the latter stages of this quarter, we've played some 16 minutes in this term. So still about 7 minutes to play. Ball back in the centre. Umpire waiting for the boundary umpire to get back on their corner of the square. 18 plays 13 in favour of the Hawks. Umpire Bennett to put the ball into the air. The big ruckmen go at it again. They've done the rucking all quarter. Hayden Johnson wins it down. Roved beautifully by the veteran and Aaron McCarthy. Puts it on his left boot, but the ball's cut off by Jordan Murrumbine. Murrumbine, ever reliable in defence, kicks it up towards centre wing. Picked up by Kalani Barton for Brigades. He goes by hand to Kim Schofield. Schofield sees the ball turn over. Goes the way now of another big Brigades player in Johnson. Johnson trying to knock the ball out. Does so now. And the umpire gives them plenty of opportunity. And umpire Bennett will come in and throw the ball up on the corner of the centre square. And 18 plays 13 in favour of the Hawks.
Time ticking away in the first term here. No Drennan O'Malley game day. The ball right in front of us here for Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. Goes the way of Hayden Johnson, who is almost caught in possession. The umpire was unsighted, so he's decided to collect the ball and throw it up once again. The 222s go at it. That's Johnson up against his opposite number, Callum Teakle. Neither get a fist on it. The ball goes to ground. Players up on top of the piece of leather once again. The scoreline, if you've just joined us, is 3 straight goals to Brigades, leading Northampton 2-1, so the same amount of shots at either end of the ground. So it is a hotly contested contest here this afternoon. Brigades have not won for the last couple of games that they've played, and Northampton are trying to assert themselves going into the finals. One would think that they'll be playing that at Greta Oval at this stage, with Rovers playing Mullawall today. And if Rovers win, I believe, Glenn, by more than 100 points, they may slip into second position.
Yes, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out as the afternoon goes. Mick Quick was thrown off the ball while he didn't have possession, so the umpire had a pretty easy decision to make there. So Mick Quick will get the free kick on the half-back flank. Mick Quick wanting to get the ball on for the Hawks, looking for some movement. He decides to go up the ground, looking for half forward. There he finds Barton, but in front of the ball was the player there in Aidan Bartolo. Ball comes out to the player there who gives it to Harrison. He gets the Harris, I should say, kicks it forward. Brigades player gets the Northampton player high. Umpire missed that one, and the umpire says, your free kick to Northampton. So Northampton player there, and Dean Higby. Higby centres the ball and finds Jamie Williams. And Jamie Williams is 48 metres out, directly in front, kicking to the city end. Hardly a breath of breeze here, but as Peter mentioned, the breeze blowing across the ground from east to west. So we see the ball now in Jamie Williams, a very, very accustomed player, playing probably his 105th, 107th game. Been a very good player for Northampton over a long period. There goes Jamie Williams' kick up towards the teeth of goals, off hands, and a force behind. And on the Point and Building Company scoreboard, Northampton go to 2 goals, 2-14. They trail the Hawks 3 goals straight, 18.
So the ball coming out of defence now, and either end of the ground we're seeing play. As I said, a reasonable crowd in attendance in glorious conditions here at GBC Sports Park this afternoon. Eden Clark for the oldies out there. The ball going to the outer side, the golf club side of the ground. It's Northampton who have it. They'll bring it back in through Murrumbine. He gets it to a teammate who puts a nice little stab pass inside the forward 50. Doesn't meet the intended target. Goes to ground. Do Northampton still have possession? No, they don't. The defender for Brigades kicks it out toward the sanctuary of the boundary. Goes back the way of Sipler. He's solid. He boots it back to whence it came, just outside the centre square on the far side of GBSC Sports Park. The umpire lets the ball play on, or the play go on, and encourages the players to try and get it out of what is almost a rugby scrum, but eventually goes in to relieve the pressure.
Okay, we're into time on now in this first term, and a pretty entertaining game of footy. Not much in it. 4 points to the margin in favour of the Hawks, and beautiful conditions for football. Players enjoying the sun and enjoying what will probably be conditions similar to what we hopefully have come finals time. And the finals get underway next weekend. We have the second semi-final being played on Saturday and the first semi-final being played on Sunday in GNFL footy. So ball comes the way of Nathaniel Murrumbine for Northampton. Kicks the ball up towards the forward zone, but once again Clay Sipler's there for the Hawks. Goes by hand to Joel Patrick. He gets it up to Kalani Barton, looking there for Mick Quick. Quick has the ball now, gets rid of the ball cleverly. Goes the way of Barton. Barton puts it on his left boot, comes up the ground, and is picked up now by Fraser Ismail. Ismail for the Hawks have had a pretty good season. Kicks it up towards half forward and finds Jordan O'Brien. And Geordie O'Brien gets the free kick, if not the mark. So Geordie O'Brien on half forward to send the Hawks deep into attack.
Jordan O'Brien, he's had a good season too, Glenn, for the Hawks. He kicked to the half-forward area. Williamson setting himself. He tries to manufacture a kick in front, but the ball goes to the back of the pack. It's picked up now by Northampton. They do well to try and get it out of the danger zone. Going the way now of the player there, Michael Wright. He's 6s and 7s. Goes back the way now of O'Brien. Puts it onto his boot inside the corridor. Williamson has it now. He goes one way, then the other.
Good
turns
kick.
Around, gives it to O'Brien, who shoots on goal, but the kick isn't good enough. As you heard from my co-commentator Glenn Barnes, it doesn't make the distance, and a slap through for the minus score.
So the ball will be brought back in to scoreboard ticking over. So the Hawks get another minus score. So Brigades go to 3 goals, 1-19. They lead Northampton 2-2-14 as Northampton get the ball moving towards the southern end of the ground. In goes Corbett, slaps it back over the corner, but it's picked up now by a Brigades player who's caught in possession, so the free kick will go the way of Corbett. Dylan Corbett plays on quickly up towards half forward, looking there for Nathaniel Murrumbine. Ball slapped away from him, goes the way of Michael Wright. He's tackled, ball spills, and a sling tackle. Advantage rule plays, goes the way of Jamie Williams for the Rams. He gets it up towards the forward pocket, looking there for Liam Campbell. Cleverly keeps it in, gives it to Higby. Higby centres the ball, but nobody home for the Rams, and a ball is relieved there from Sipler. Sipler goes by hand towards Mick Quick. Mick Quick kicks it back in towards the centre of the ground. Ball running free, and the ball picked up again by the Hawks.
Yeah, it goes away now of the Hawks as they send it inboard now, and the player with the ball on that occasion was Kim Schofield. He sends it inboard and straight down the corridor. Goes away with Hayden Johnson. Couldn't take the mark. In the half-forward area now, the defence for Railways, I should say Northampton overlap. Coming down to centre wing in front of the crowd here this afternoon. A player is tackled without the ball, and the umpire has recognised that, and Kieran Harris with the recipient of a free kick. So Kieran Harris sitting at centre wing. He sees a lead in the half-forward area. Players setting themselves, and up goes the big hands on this occasion. And they were the big arms of the player there in Dean Higby. Higby takes the mark, but he lets himself down by kicking it inside the corridor. There's all arms and legs there as the ball goes up into the air. No one can get possession. And eventually the umpire does blow his whistle, and a free kick will go the way of a player we've been impressed with this year, Glenn, in Tyler
Caddy plays on quickly, gets it in towards the forward pocket, where he's the hard-running Trent Simpson. Trent Simpson marks it. Trent Simpson is 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle, kicking to the southern end. Trent has kicked one goal already in his 100th game, wanting to add to that tally, get a bit of a bag this afternoon. He'll need to if the Rams are going to win. So Trent Simpson lining up for goal. An important kick. Northampton can take back the lead as we head towards quarter time. And Simpson gets his second of the afternoon. Northampton get their third goal on the Pointed Building Company scoreboard. We see 3 goals 2, plays 3 goals 1. So a really tight contest here. Only 1 point in it here at GBSC Sports Park. Round 17 of GNFL football for Drennan O'Malley Motors and Warren Taylor Homes.
Yes, 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes left in the first term. And Glenn, we've been impressed by the standard of the football here this afternoon, with both teams playing a very open brand of football. Yeah,
well, it's what you'd expect. Heading into the finals, these sides have got to have some momentum and skill level, because the intensity will lift again, no doubt about that, next week. Northampton will line up against Rovers, we expect, and we expect Brigades to line up against Railways. So really big contests today. These sides have to get some good preparation as Caddy wins the ball out of the centre for the Rams. Kicks it up, looking again for Simpson. Simpson's got 2 to beat. Goes in after the ball now, sees the ball across the boundary line, and there'll be a boundary throw in the left forward pocket at the city end of the ground. Into time on now as the ball to be thrown back into play. And the boundary umpire puts the pink ball into the air. So Northampton have an opportunity now to get a score while they have it in their forward 50. Northampton lead by a point as the umpire says no one had easy access there. Pack develops. The umpire will come in and throw the ball up. The ball will be thrown up about 35 metres from goal.
As Glenn said, not far from the goal mouth here, the GBSC Sports Park, and big ruckman goes up, and the big man he is, big full forward, I should say, Liam Campbell, who knocks it down, but straight down the throat of the Brigades defender, out to the outer side, goes away of Kalani Bartley, kicks it to the outer side, players diving on top of each other, and the umpire says, give it to me, boys, and we'll throw it up again. Kalani Barton, apologies to the Barton family. Bit of a tongue twister, I made it then. The ball coming in now, players setting themselves from the outer side. Goes the way, a free kick I think will go the way of Northampton. Ben O'Brien coming out of a pack there. So ball is with Northampton now. Coming inboard, players setting themselves inside the corridor. Up goes that player again in Liam Campbell. He's unable to take the mark, is knocked down like a domino, and the rest of them fall down as well, and the ball will be collected again. But has a free kick been found? No, it's going to be thrown up again, and the two combatants are putting their arms up to say that they're going to go into the ruck, and it's Hayden Johnson who goes up, but it is Liam Campbell who brings the ball down, and the siren sounds to announce that it's quarter time in our Drennan O'Malley game day. And to quarter time it is the Rams. A slight lead, 3-2. They lead the Hawks 3-1, and you're listening to the home of GNFL football. This is Radio Mama.
Today's Drennan O'Malley.
to NFL football. with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Half-time out there at Greenock, and Rovers 10 goals 8, 68 lead Mullawar 5-5, 35. So Rovers at half-time hold a good lead there. They lead by 5 goals and 3 points, so doing it pretty well. A 33-point margin in favour of Rovers in the half-time score out there at Greenock Oval. There's an 11-point margin here. I'm looking after better players for Northampton. They're a little bit harder to find in that quarter, but still like the work that Tyler Caddy's doing. Trent Simpson giving them something up forward. Aidan Bartolo works hard in defence. Jordan Murrumbine, he is working hard. And also Jamie Williams working hard, so a good performance there. Looking at the Northampton list, they've got a number of players unavailable today, and they'll be hoping to get them fit and get them back into the finals next week. And we have Kingsley Smith. He is absent today, but he will hopefully come back in. Bo Walker is coming back in from injury, and he is expected to come back in. Also Braden Jupp, he's absent today. Jordan Strage is absent today. Kai McVie is absent today. And Jared Woodcock is absent today. They will be working their way back in for the first semi-final next weekend. Looking at the Brigades list, some of the players that they are missing today. Graham Sandy, they'll be hoping he's available today. Next week, I should say. Will Anderson is also missing today. And Ben Bachman is missing today. So Brigades, they have got less to come back into their side than Northampton. And of course, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. We're about to get this third quarter underway. Drennan O'Malley Motors game day quarter. And a very, very interesting situation. 11 points the margin in favour of Brigades as we head into this third quarter. Beautiful conditions for football. Final and last round of home and away fixtures. Once again, Johnson wins it forward, but it's roved again by Corbett. Goes by hand there to Bobby Gibson. Bobby Gibson for the Rams finds Jamie Williams. Williams sends it up towards half forward, but the ball's cut off by Brigades' Kalani Barton. So Kalani Barton has an opportunity to relieve the pressure and get the ball forward.
And he sends it into the half forward area now. A nice mark is taken by O'Brien. O'Brien will be important in the campaign for back-to-back flags for Brigades. Goes to the outer side. Schofield kicks it further afield. In fact, it's to Champ. Champ now finds that player in Schofield. Schofield below the big light tower here at GBSC Sports Park on the golf club side of the ground. Kicks it inside the corridor. It'll go to ground and off the side of the boot. Geez, it was a beautiful goal as it came through, and it was Ryder, I think.
Christopher
Ryder. Never misses an opportunity, that fella, Glenn. And luck's a fortune, as the great Brian Putter-Smith would say. And he certainly knew what to do there. And that was a great kick in also from the player there in Kim Schofield. And we'll say it again, Glenn, we worked him into the match and now starting to figure predominantly.
Well, that's a good thing. He continues to work as hard at the end of the game as he does at the beginning of the game, so it makes it a lot easier. And he worked his way. And then, as you say, a beautiful torpedo. And Christopher Ryder, clever player. It was an awkward kick, but Christopher is a very, very clever player and is clever enough to read the ball off the pack beautifully. So Brigades extend their lead. Another goal, and on the Point and Building Company scoreboard, Brigades go to 7-5. They lead Northampton 4-5. So it's an 18-point ball game. Players are putting good tackles on this afternoon. Northampton tackling has been very good. So too is Brigades, but Northampton's tackling has been pretty intense. They're a little bit undermanned, but so too are Brigades. Ball comes back into play from the throw up in the centre of the ground. Goes the way now of Ben O'Brien after a handball from Deschamps. Ball goes up towards half forward, and a good strong mark taken by Kim Schofield. Had Dale Williamson coming, but Kim held his ground, and thankfully Dale didn't keep coming and let Kim hold the mark and take a very strong mark. So Kim could kick a goal from here if he got onto a torpy like he did a few moments ago. He's 48 metres out, shooting towards the Chapman River end. So Kim Schofield, get it in the water because there's plenty of water in the Chapman River at the moment. There goes the kick from Kim Schofield. Looks pretty good off the boot. Beautiful kick. And he's got a goal. Good goal, Kim Schofield. And on the Point and Building Company scoreboard, Brigades get their 8th of the afternoon. Brigades go to 8 goals, 5. They extend their lead, now 24 points. They lead Northampton 4-5, 29. as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. And looking at the score from the game out at Greenough Oval at half-time, Rovers 10-8, 68, lead Mullawar 5-5, 35.
The Chapman River goes or dissects Trevor Allen's farm, Glenn, and I saw some pictures during the week, and the Chapman River looked like the Avon descent out there.
Yeah, it was fairly flowing, wasn't it?
And there was a bit of a comment said that maybe Main Roads need to have a look at where they want to put their bypass, Glenn.
Well, it's an interesting discussion, that one, isn't it?
The ball in the middle now, coming back out, and the last goal scored by Brigades, 8-5 to 4-5. They have a bit of a hold on the game at this early stage of the second half as Northampton go forward. It's Wright who has it. He gets it away to a teammate, finds the boundary, spins around, puts it inside the corridor. Is there anyone at home? Castleton. He certainly is, like a soldier coming up and ensuring that it's corralled off the boundary. And the ball will be thrown in again for... be thrown in again in the full forward area for Northampton. Northampton kicking toward the southern end in this term. In it comes players setting themselves. Hayden Johnson's had a great game, but he knocks it straight down to Wright. He's knocking up kicks, as too is Caddy, but Caddy loses possession on this occasion. Brigades have the run, or do they? Going out to the wing, and it's a player there in Jordan O'Brien who's first in the race. He collects it, he sends it inboard looking for support, doesn't find it. Players quickly set upon, and a free kick has gone the way of the Northampton player in Brown. Brown now will come inboard. He does so, and he finds the trusty arms of Jace Price. Haven't seen much of him today. Gives it back to Brown, straight down the corridor, setting themselves inside. That part of play is fencing, though, for Brigades. He takes the mark. He comes out toward Barton now at centre wing. The bounce isn't kind for Barton. He eventually gets it and set upon by 1, 2, 3 Northampton opponents. Goes to ground. The umpire says no prior opportunity, fellas. And the ball will be thrown up just metres away from the very boisterous crowd here this afternoon at GBSC Sports Park.
Yeah, very good crowd here as umpire Baker to put the ball into the air. So, as I mentioned, the tackling's been very good, but it's a good workout. Lift the intensity, because the intensity is going to be very strong next weekend in the finals. And the ball is thrown up again. So, umpire Baker to throw the ball up. As you say, pretty handy crowd here this afternoon, Northampton and Brigades. The other game being played out at Greenough Oval, the final game of the GNFL season in the home and away fixtures. Ball comes the way of O'Brien. He sees the ball across the boundary line, and the ball will be thrown back in just in front of the Brigades coaching box. And Corey Foote will be pretty happy with what he's seen to this point. Good endeavour from both clubs. Ball thrown back in. The pink ball this afternoon, and the free kick will go the way of Hayden Johnson. So Hayden Johnson plays on quickly.
Nice kick.
And gets it the way of the player there in Jordan O'Brien. Jordan O'Brien, good young player, gets the ball up towards Ryder. Good mark to Jamie Ryder. In fact, it's Christopher this time. Christopher puts it on his left boot, puts it up, looking there for Dale Williamson. And Jamie was behind Dale, looking to jump over his shoulder, but he decided not to. In goes the player there, and Jamie Williams takes the bounce for Northampton, kicks it from half back up to half forward, looking up there for the big fella, finds him, and he gets it. Higby gets the ball forward, goes the way to once again to Williams. Williams puts a good tackle on the Brigades player, and the Brigades player is tackled. Free kick will go the way of the Brigades player, and the free kick goes the way there of Brigades player in Isaac Ronan. Ronan goes out wide and finds Quick. Quick gets it up the ground, goes the way of McGregor. McGregor goes by hand to Deschamps. Deschamps kicks it up towards full forward, looking again for Dale Williamson. And Dale Williamson running with the flight of the ball, takes a very strong mark. And Jack McKee puts his hands on his head and wonders why.
There, Glenn,
but a good bit of play. And it was not the perfect kick. Well, no. Maybe it was, but he made it look pretty good.
Yep.
Because he ran with the flight of the ball and got a very good goal.
He's only 20 metres out from goal as Dale Williamson, kicking toward the Chapman River end of the ground. He'll split the sticks, one would think, and yes, he has. And that is his third goal of the afternoon. Dale Williamson has 3 goals. Brigades have now gone to 9. And they are 9 goals 5. They lead the Rams 4-5, and they do have a handy lead, a 5-goal lead, incidentally, here in our Drennan O'Malley game day. Glenn, I want to come back to Tyler Caddy. I don't know a lot about him. Do you know any background? He looks like he might have played football at a higher level because he certainly has got a good work rate.
He played in the Central Midlands Coastal Footy League. He played for Jurien Bay. But when he came to Kalbarri, he was lucky enough, or Northampton were lucky enough. Naturally, he's in the Northampton Shire and he's a school teacher up in Kalbarri. So he is a player of some sort of ability. So he came from Jurien Bay in the Central Midlands Coastal Footy League. I don't know where he played prior to there, but it's good to see him playing such good footy. And I would say Northampton, other than Harry Taylor, they lost, but I think their gains are quite impressive this year, and they've got some really good players coming into the club in recent times. Ball comes the way back from injury too. The ball goes the way of Woodcock for Northampton, gets it up towards half forward, looking there for Simpson. The ball comes back out from the Brigades defence, goes the way of Valley. Valley's kick is cut off by Corbett for Northampton. Corbett kicks it back, looking for Murrumbine. Ball carries that player, comes back to the Brigades player there in Rama Evans. Evans gets it out towards Sam Millett. Millett puts it on his boot, kicks it up towards centre wing, finds Jordan O'Brien. He cleverly lets the ball run forward, goes the way of Aaron McCartney. McCartney can't pick it up, does so now, and Aaron put a high tackle on Jordan Murrumbine, and the free kick will go the way of Murrumbine. So time ticking by in this third term with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors. 9 minutes gone in this term, and it is Brigades 9-5-59, Northampton 4-5-29. Brigades have kicked the last 6 goals unanswered. Northampton haven't kicked a score in the second quarter or the third quarter as yet, as in goals that is. The ball comes forward from the half-back line now. In goes Schofield, goes across the ground, looking out there for Valley. Valley takes his time, runs the ball towards centre wing, kicks it up towards half forward. Northampton have an opportunity now through Michael Wright. Gets it out towards a teammate there in Murrumbine. Murrumbine, that is Jordan, goes the way of Bobby Gibson. Gibson back towards Michael Wright. Wright goes by hand, finds Murrumbine again. By hand, this time it's turned over. Goes the way of Ryder.
Oh.
Ryder's tackled and caught in possession. Good bit of play there from the Northampton player. And he is given the reward is Bobby Gibson on halfback.
And Glenn doesn't want to say which Ryder because he's scared he'll say the wrong one. So the ball now in the half-forward area half-back area, I should say, for Northampton. They tricked me there because they even went further back in defence. The ball in defence now as it comes down the line and looking for the player there in Bobby Gibson. Doesn't take that opportunity. Ball goes away of Jace Price now. Price in front of our broadcast position. Kicks it to the man on the mark. That was good play by Schofield. And the ball is ricocheted off his chest and over the boundary. So the scoreline, if you just joined us, it is Brigades 9-5 leading Northampton 4-5. At quarter time, we saw Northampton lead by 1 point, Brigades by 11 points at halftime. Brigades have opened it up a little bit in the third term as the ball comes over the boundary once again in front of the reasonable crowd here at GBSC Sports Park today.
Yes, 30 points the margin now, and a very, very good crowd here enjoying the sun and enjoying the footy. It's been pretty intense, but it's a pretty handy margin that the Brigades have at this stage, in the middle stages of this third term. Ball picked up now by the hard-running Northampton player there and Matty Bishop. Matt Bishop gets the ball cut off by Joel Patrick for Brigades. Kicks it back towards centre wing. Kieran Harris and Aaron McCartney clash. Ball comes to ground and the whistle goes. An umpire says there'll be a ball up and it'll go the way. So the ball will go the way of Kieran Harris. Will get the free kick. So Kieran Harris gives the free kick. So Kieran Harris has the free kick on centre wing. Kieran Harris puts it on his boot, kicks it up towards half forward, but the ball is cut off again by Joel Patrick. The former regular ruckman for Brigades now plays in defence, kicks it out towards the centre wing position, looking there for Fraser Ismail. Ball goes off hands and the boundary umpire will throw the ball back into play. Hayden Johnson will do the rucking for Brigades, and Ethan Brown will do the rucking for Northampton.
The ball coming in now just in front of our broadcast position. A lot of the play on this side of the ground in this term. The ball goes away now of Rama Evans. He bursts out of the pack, a nice balance kick, and he finds McGregor. Drew McGregor inside the centre square, goes forward now and finds the player there in Schofield. He quickly marks, gives it back to Evans. Gee, he's quick, the youngster. Kicks it into the half-forward area, looking for Valley. Valley sends it forward again. Inside goes Deschamps. Can he set something up? The bounce isn't kind. Goes away of Williamson. He's tackled without the ball.
Pretty obvious.
Dale Williamson will have a free kick now, about 10 metres directly in front.
So Dale Williamson, the league's leading goal scorer, not only this year but forever, is lining up for goal. Dale's kicked for a goal.
Nice passage of play there, contribution, I should say, by the young player Rama Evans.
Yeah, like I said earlier, he looks to be a very, very exciting prospect. Only a 16-year-old, so he shoots on goal, does Dale Williamson. He's double that age, and Dale has kicked a very, very good goal. That's his fourth of the game, and Brigades see the scoreboard roll over. Now Brigades have kicked 7 goals in succession. Brigades are 10 goals, 5, 65. Starting to break open the game now. Northampton 4-5, 29. But taking the scoreboard away, Northampton have been pretty competitive at this point, but they need to narrow the margin and keep on top, or Brigades are going to run away with a pretty emphatic win. And as we mentioned, both sides lining up for a big finals performance next weekend. It'll be Brigades against Railways in the second semi-final, and Northampton in the first semi-final against Rovers. And just repeating, with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton, the half-time score from that game being played out at Greenock this afternoon. At half-time, Rovers 10-8, 68, lead Mullawa 5-5, 35.
Great conditions for football. As we head to the finals, the smell of freshly mowed lawn in the air as it goes forward now, and the mark is taken by Jordan O'Brien. O'Brien's been consistent today, as he has been this season. Kicks it into the half-forward area, but errant in that attempt. Straight down the throat of the defender for Northampton. Coming off the half-back flank now. The ball coming out in front of our broadcast position. Caddy goes up, so too does Deschamps. The mark isn't taken. It goes toward the boundary. It's picked up by Barton. Goes back the way of O'Brien. O'Brien to this fella. He's probably one of the best players on the ground for Brigades at the moment. And I'm talking about Hayden Johnson. A nice kick inside the pocket, but doesn't meet the intended target. Comes off hands and spills over the boundary. So Brigades, Glenn, I think they certainly have come to play in this quarter.
Yeah, it always helps when you get goals in succession, and they've got 7 now unanswered, which makes the scoreboard look pretty attractive for the Hawks this afternoon. The reigning premiers, are they back in town? They've got 3 or 4 players to bring back in next week. Ball comes back into play from the boundary throw-in. Ball's in the forward 50. Love the way Northampton have tackled this afternoon. They've been pretty intense on the ball carrier, but they haven't been able to replicate that at the other end and get the scoreboard rolling over. This ball slapped forward, goes the way of Schofield. Kim, that is, gets a handball away, goes the way of Dylan Corbett. Dylan Corbett runs out of ground, and ball goes out of bounds, and there'll be a boundary throw-in. In earlier games today here at GBSC Sports Park, in the Colts, Northampton 6-10-46 defeated Brigades 2-4-16. And in the reserves, it was Brigades 9-10-63 defeated Northampton 1-3-9. As the ball comes forward again, goes the way of Brigades, but Northampton's Jordan Murrumbine stands his ground. Gets it out towards Campbell. Campbell couldn't mark the ball, but he put a good tackle on the Brigades player who was going to break away, and the ball will be thrown up on half-back. Umpire Baker to put the ball into the air.
Umpire Baker officiating this afternoon. Up it goes. No one can get their mitts on it. The ball goes to ground. Bit of a pack develops. Coming out of the pack, though, is the youngster in Rama Evans once again. Demands the ball back, does the youngster, which is good to see. But on this occasion, the ball is directed inside the corridor. The mark is taken by Northampton. Northampton ricocheted back out now, and Budger, he's come right down the ground. Nathaniel Murrumbine takes a mark inside the centre square. Who's up front for them? As we see the lead come from the player in Simpson, playing 100 games today. The youngster wearing number 4, shouting at his teammates to get down ground for some options up front. Up goes the pink ball inside the corridor. Players setting themselves. Up goes the player there in Teakle. He fisted it away because he couldn't take the mark. The ball coming out of defence. Almost a courageous mark by Barton. Barton in turn gets it away to a teammate there. And now the ball is with Kim Schofield, who's dealt with late when he gets rid of the ball. And there'll be a free kick down ground, goes away to Deschamps. Deschamps plays on now. Mick Quick can run into an open goal, or Kenny. He's got a couple to beat, kicks it up into the air. The boundary is also close. It's almost kicked out on the full, but I think the umpire's going to bring the ball back, Glenn, is he?
Yes, and there's going to be a yellow card. Trent Simpson must have not agreed with the umpire's decision, so he's getting a yellow card, so he's going to be having a bit of a spell. And that's disappointing for Northampton. They've been trying to keep themselves in the game, and they've let themselves down.
So what happens here? Is the ball going to go down the ground?
Yeah, right down there. And
where it's...
So Brigades will shoot on goal, and it's
Mick Quick, is it?
Let's
see who's got the ball down there.
Mick
Quick did have it when the game stopped.
So waiting on...
Oh yeah, it is not. Mick Quick, I think. Yep, looks pretty good off the boot. Yep. Oh, what's he done? He's put it through the middle.
That's his second of the afternoon.
That's a dangerous goal and a damning goal for Brigades. They've gone now to 11 goals 5, and they have a big lead over their opponents this afternoon, the Northampton Footy Club, on 4 goals 5.
Yeah, 71 plays 29, and as Peter, that makes Brigades have now kicked 8 goals without Northampton troubling them.
Big quarter.
Yeah, really good effort there from Brigades. So another goal to Mick Quick. That's his second, as I mentioned. So Dale Williamson has got some goals as well. So Brigades are doing as they like now. And our goal scorers to this point in the game, which is the 19-minute mark of the third quarter, with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors. Goal scorers for Brigades, Dale Williamson has 3, 2 to Christopher Ryder, 2 to Mick Quick, 2 to Kim Schofield, and 1 to Logan McGregor. And also for Northampton, their goal scorers, Trent Simpson has 2. Trent is off now with a yellow card for giving the umpires a little bit of a chat. Also, Liam Campbell has 1. Nathaniel Murrumbine has 1. So Northampton, they haven't kicked a goal, Peter, since the last 20-minute mark of the first quarter.
No, that's a long time between drinks, that's for sure, Glenn. Ball coming out in the middle now. Mick Quick, who figured in the last goal, he gets the ball, puts it onto his boot, gives it to Evans. Evans starting to really have an impact in this game. The youngster, the 16-year-old Nagle Catholic College student, of course. The ball coming inboard, goes away now of Jace Price for Northampton. They try and get some movement forward on the far side as the ball goes away now of the player there in McGill. McGill gets the ball, sends it into the half-forward area, comes across now. Going the way of Williams. Williams, an important player for the Rams, sends it straight down the throat of Castleton, though. And the Rock of Gibraltar takes a nice mark in the last line of defence.
So there he goes. He's a good young player, is Jesse Castleton, as Peter said, very reliable. Gets it the way of Mick Quick, who's having a very good game. Mick Quick gets it out wide, looking out there for Ryder. This time it is Jamie. Jamie gets the ball out, in fact, goes back now to Ryan. And he gets the Evans, it is. Evans gets across to Barton. Barton for Brigades, puts it on his left boot, comes back, and this time he finds Clay Sipler. Sipler gets his kick forward, up towards the forward pocket, where he finds the hard-running Brigades player there, who's Fraser Ismail. Fraser Ismail is some 35 to 40 metres out from goal. Waits for the lead from the big man.
Too easy.
And a beautiful pass, finds Dale Williamson. And Dale Williamson lining up for goal number 5. He is in the left forward pocket, shooting towards goal from about 35 metres out. Dale has got 4 on the board. Can he make it goal number 5?
The blind man on the far side knew where that ball was going, Glenn.
Yes, a good bit of play, and it makes it very hard for the defender. There's not much you can do. There goes the kick from Dale Williamson. Looks pretty good off the boot, but not good enough. It fades away to the right-hand side, 1 point only, and a minus score for the Brigades Hawks. And on the Poynton Building Company scoreboard, Brigades go to 11-6-72. They lead Northampton 4-5-29, and we're into time on in this third quarter, with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors.
Jace Price gets it out to the wing as it comes down. We see that Murrumbine's come right down the ground to get a kick once again, so he's been a drought for Murrumbine up front, with the sorties forward almost drying up as the ball comes toward that player in Ronan. He has to beat the bigger conveyance in Higby, and the ball finds the boundary. So the ball being thrown in now. In a quarter that has been dominated by Brigades. In it comes now, players setting themselves. Hayden Johnson, he's been good today, Glenn. Probably one of the best of field.
Clearly the best player on the ground at the moment.
For sure, but he's almost caught in possession on this occasion. Advantage paid. to Northampton. Have they got advantage? No, they haven't, as they kick it straight down the throat of another player who's been strong in Clay Sippler.
Yes, of course. I think Callum Teagle's done a fairly fine job this afternoon, but he's up against a bigger man and a more experienced player in Hayden Johnson. Ball comes the way of Bobby Gibson now for Northampton. Kicks it back. Brigades player almost a good mark there. Isaac Ronan couldn't mark it, but it puts a good pressure on the Northampton player. And of course, Flynn Dillon, the Northampton star ruckman, JJ Clune medalist, broke his foot about mid-season, so he's in a race to get back to the latter part of the finals. I don't think he'll be available next week, but if Northampton go a little bit deeper into the finals, he may be available, but who knows. Ball comes back into play, and the umpire has no option but to throw the ball up. So Northampton, they haven't kicked a goal since the 20-minute mark of the first quarter. Can they get one at the 23-minute mark of the third quarter? As they get the ball forward, goes the way now of Jamie Williams. He can't pick it up. In goes the Brigades player. He has the ball held to him, had no prior opportunity, and umpire Osborne will come in and throw the ball up here at GBSC Sports Park in the dying stages of this third term. And we've seen Brigades add 5 goals, 2 in this term, and Northampton have not added to their tally since half time. Ball whistle on play, free kick's been picked out, and it'll go the way of the Northampton player. So Northampton have an opportunity through Tyler Caddy. So Tyler Caddy was held off the ball, and Tyler Caddy will shoot on goal from 45 or 35 metres out, directly in front. So Tyler Caddy, he's done a lot of Ks this afternoon, so he's probably a bit tired. Tyler Caddy to shoot on goal. Can he get Northampton's first goal of the quarter? No, he can't. It was a kick of a tired man, and he kicked the ball off the side and through for a minus score. No, in fact, it was out of bounds on the full. Out of bounds on the full. So there it is. 3-quarter time at the football, GBSC Sports Park. And the Brigades, the reigning premiers, are on their way into a second semi-final. Brigades 11-6-72. They lead Northampton 4-5-29. And you're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
Our Adrenaline.
has done very well indeed, and Dale has kicked his 5 goals, or 4 goals. 2 goals to Mick Quick, 2 goals to Christopher Ryder, 2 goals to Kim Schofield, and 1 goal to Logan McGregor. So Dale has 5 goals. And for Northampton, Trent Simpson has 2 goals, Liam Campbell has 1, Nathaniel Murrumbine has 1. Well, Brigades have sort of dominated the game, Peter, since quarter time. They've been in control. And who are some of the players who are in contention for Brigades to take out the Skeeters Restaurant Player of the Day?
Well, a lot of players are getting a lot of the ball with the Hawks for the Hawks now, Glenn. I've liked Rama Evans, especially as the middle stages of the game have unfolded. He's a good young talent, that's for sure. Heard a lot about him. He's played State 15, so he certainly has the pedigree.
And you can see he's got that slickness. He handles the ball very...
exactly.
And as we heard from Mick Ablett this morning, smaller players have got to handle the ball very, very well. You can't afford... You've got to have very, very good skills at that level.
It's the only thing that's going to allow them to make the grade. Jordan O'Brien's been good, Clay Sippler, Kim Schofield, Kalani Barton, but Hayden Johnson is by far the best on the park this afternoon.
He's certainly doing well. Northampton, they've really let their guard down. They're still tackling well, but they're not getting the score on the board. Like the work of Jamie Williams, always like the way he goes about his work. But a lot of their good players are in defence, so that's not a good thing. Bobby Gibson's working hard. Michael Wright is working hard, but they really need to lift their work rate and go into next week's game. We know there's probably 5 or 6 players to come back into the lineup, but their performance today has been a little bit underwhelming.
The ball coming out in the middle. Northampton need to score early as the ball comes out the way of player there in Dylan Corbett. He's trying hard, but is quickly set upon just outside the forward 50. They're kicking toward the city end in this turn. That's the southern end of GBSC Sports Park. Brigades hold a 43-point lead at three-quarter time, and one would think they're going to win this game. Something drastically doesn't happen, and that's the sort of thing that Northampton don't want to see. As the ball goes forward now, and Dale Williamson takes another strong mark about 15 to 20 metres out from goal, and he's kicking for goal number 5, Glenn. So 5 goals to the leading goal kicker in the GNFL. He's going to add to his tally, one would think. Dale Williamson. Great player to come and watch. Oh, he just toe poked that one. That was incredibly much of a letdown there, and only going through for the minor score. So
so Dale's still on 4 goals.
He is. So the ball about to come out now for Northampton. Dale wants another go as he goes up and almost takes the mark, but Jay Price marks over his shoulder, plays on now into the middle of the ground. A nice mark is taken in there by the big man in Campbell. Campbell now. He goes laterally to the outer side, but it isn't a good kick, and it's intercepted on this occasion by a speedster, and that speedster is Jordan O'Brien. Bryan kicks it into the half-forward area. Up into the air goes the player there, and Christopher Ryder. He couldn't take the mark, reminiscent of what he did a couple of months ago here at GBSC Sports Park, Glen. Wasn't able to replicate that as the ball is ricocheted back out to the far side. Goes the way of that player in Campbell for Northampton. He comes across the ground. He's looking for support. Does he find it? The ball is picked up by Aidan Portolo. Portolo kicks down the corridor. He's looking for a teammate there. Dylan Corbett tries to answer the call. Goes back to Portello. Portello now to Williams. Williams tackled as he gets rid of the ball. Sends it inside the corridor. It's a bit of a contest. His arms go into the air. The big man at the base of the pack does well, but loses possession to another big man in Campbell, who kicks a beautiful ball into the full forward area. The ball, I thought, was marked then by the player there, and we're talking about Jordan Murrumbine, Nathaniel Murrumbine, but as Glenn said, he endeavoured to play on, he lost possession, and the ball is back with Brigades in the middle of the ground as Deschamps comes through. He's too, Glenn, probably should be added to the better players in that term, but he's caught in possession on this occasion, and a free kick goes the way of the Rams.
Bobby Gibson with the free kick, kicking towards the Chapman River end in this final quarter, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants, and a good pass. He's picked out a good player there, and an opportunity for the Northampton big fella in Dean Higby, who's played the last 3 games for the Rams, and Higby has an opportunity to send the ball forward. So Higby to shoot on goal, and this will be Northampton's first goal since quarter time, so a much needed goal. There goes Dean's kick. Dean has got a goal. No, he hasn't. He's offline, unfortunately. So Northampton go to 4 goals, 6-30 They trail Brigades 11-7-73 as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. And at three-quarter time, it is a very interesting scoreline at Rovers. Rovers are 11-10 and they lead Mullawar 7-6. So it's a 28-point ball game in favour of Rovers there at Greenough this afternoon.
Just getting over the line, so to speak, out there at Greenough Oval this afternoon at this stage, when you think what Railways did to Mullawar at the recreation ground last week, Glenn. The ball kicked to the outer side, the golf club side of the ground. It's with Ryder now. Ryder puts a kick down the wing. Goes away of McGregor. McGregor comes inboard now. In turn goes away of Deschamps. Deschamps now can set something up into the full forward area. Running through to try and take the marks O'Brien. He doesn't do so. Goes away of the big fella in Williamson. He tries to get a free kick, but nothing is giving from the umpire as the ball gets away from the big fella. Goes back the way of Northampton to the outer side. It's come right down the ground, and that player is Murrumbine. That's Jordan Murrumbine. Nathaniel up into the air and took a beautiful mark on this occasion. And he'll have a shot on goal. He's about 45 to 50 metres out, though, Glenn. Right below the scoreboard, which reads the Hawks 11-7 over the Rams 4-6.
Yeah, so a really big shot, this one. Northampton, we've been talking about it a lot. They need a goal, and they need it quickly to start making the scoreboard look a little bit more attractive. So, a big kick from Nathaniel, just in front of the Point and Building Company scoreboard. Kick won't make the distance. Off hands, forced through. A good slap through from the Brigades player there in Joel Patrick. Another minus score to the Rams. And Point and Building Company scoreboard sees Northampton 4-7-31. They trail Brigades 11-7-73. Ball to be brought back into play. And the time is going pretty slowly for Northampton this afternoon. They've got 6 or so players to come back into their lineup next week. Not the ideal preparation.
They do need them, Glenn.
They do, Peter. It's not the ideal preparation, though, is it? When you bring a big number of players back in. We all know they can all play very, very well, but you'd like to have a little bit more of
Northampton's
gelling.
loss is Gascoyne Junction's gain, Glenn.
That's right. Good luck to Gascoyne Junction races today. Beautiful day there as well, as it is here in Spalding, in Geraldton, at GBSC Sports Park. 73 plays 31 in favour of the Hawks. Once again, Hayden Johnson. He's won pretty well every ruck contest this afternoon. Gets it to Deschamps. Deschamps gets it up the ground. Gets it the way of the player there in Ryder. And he sets sail for home. And a good bit of play there from Jamie Ryder. He was the end of a nice handball from Rama Evans.
Yeah, quick hands, wasn't it?
Good effort from Rama. He got it over to Jamie. And Jamie finished it off well. So that is the first goal for Jamie this afternoon. Jamie Ryder, that is. And the scoreboard keeps rolling over for the Hawks. And on the Point and Building Company scoreboard, Brigades are 12 goals, 7. They lead Brigades 4 goals, 7.
Yes, and Brigades certainly have asserted their authority as the game has unfolded here at GBC Sports Park this afternoon. As Claire's mentioned, Northampton undermanned, but going into the finals, they need to be hitting their straps, that's for sure. And out there at Greenough Oval, the Demons probably just doing enough to win that game and retain the right to play at home in the first semi-final next week. Up into the air the ball goes. Goes away now of Northampton. They get it out to Williams. Williams puts it onto his boot, straight down the corridor. It's knocked down to ground. Who's running onto it? It is Ronan for Brigades. Out of defence. Gets it to a teammate in Barton. Barton down the line. He's looking for the player there in quick, but the umpire says he ran out of play. The ball will be thrown in. Not far from the Brigades dugout here at GBSC Sports Park. In it comes now. Johnson back on the park. He's been a power of strength this afternoon. Gets it over to McGregor. McGregor tries to get it to Deschamps. Deschamps in turn misses, but it goes away now of Schofield. Schofield, a beautiful lace-out kick into the full-forward area. Ishmael couldn't take the mark, but Ryder's there to mop up. He gets it away now to the big ruckman, who gets a searching handball into the full-forward area, going the way of the player there in Schofield. And Schofield is caught in possession, and a free kick will go to the defender in Paletti. Now Paletti slows things down, and so he should. He kicks across the half-back line, going the way of Jordan Murrumbine. Murrumbine in turn gets it to a teammate who decides to play on. He bounces once, kicks to the centre wing. There's no one there, but Northampton is first in the race, going the way of the big fella there in Campbell. Campbell sends it inboard. He gets it back again, does Campbell. Puts it onto his boot. Tries to get it forward, but there's Mick Quick. Out of defence, straight down the middle and finds the player there. And we're talking about this fella, and he's certainly grown in stature as the game has developed. I'm talking about Kim Schofield. Straight down the middle, and mark is taken by Erin McCartney. Gets it to Deschamps. Deschamps shoots on goal. It isn't long enough, but the mark is taken by Ishmael, and he marks just outside the goal square, and he is about 10 metres out from goal, but he will be put on a reasonable angle, Glenn.
Fraser Ismail, good bit of play there from Erin McCartney, and got the ball
unselfish
over.
play,
Yep.
Glenn.
And they got the ball quickly up to Fraser Ismail, and Fraser Ismail can finish it off and certainly finish the Rams off for this afternoon. Fraser Ismail from point blank range, 45-degree angle, gets his first of the afternoon. Fraser gets the Hawks 13th, and on the Point and Building Company scoreboard, we see the scoreboard roll over to 13 goals, 7, 85. Northampton 4-7-31. There wasn't much reaction there, Peter. I thought there for a while he may have hit the post or something, but there wasn't much reaction. People just going through the motions.
A bit of ho-hum, eh?
Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? So, once again, we've said it numerous times, Northampton haven't kicked a goal since quarter time, and it's certainly an interesting scoreline.
And that would be a worry for Coach Tomilty, wouldn't it,
well,
really?
I've kicked one goal since quarter time, I should say. One goal since quarter time.
Even so.
Yeah, it's not a great look, is it?
No.
So
Ball back in the middle now.
Interesting situation.
It is. 13-7 plays 4-7. Pretty close at quarter time, only a point in it. 11 points at half time, but skipped away now have the Hawks. They are the reigning premier, looking to defend their title. If they can win next week, they're straight into the big dance, Glenn, in a couple of weeks' time, but we don't really know much about the big dance at this stage.
No, we don't know what time the games are being played. So stay tuned to Radio Mama over the next week to find out where the games are being played, who's playing where and at what time. But of course, Radio Mama will be keeping you across all the action. First semi-final day will be on Sunday. As Peter said, we believe that'll be at Greenough Oval now with the results happening as they are today. And the second semi-final will be at Warren Taylor Holmes Recreation Ground next Saturday. So that'll be second semi-final on the Saturday, first semi-final on the Sunday, as Kim Schofield gets it to Fraser Ismail. He throws the boot to ball, but the ball goes out of bounds on the full in the left forward pocket. So we're in the middle stages of this final quarter with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants, and the ball to be brought back into play by the Northampton Rams. Northampton get the ball forward now, and it goes the way now of the player there who takes a good mark in Ethan Brown.
Centre wing now, the ball coming in for Northampton. Really has dried up for them this afternoon. You wouldn't know where any goal is going to come from at this stage. Daniel Murrumbine having to come into the middle of the ground to get a touch of the footy as the ball comes away of Jace Price now. It's been quiet by his standards this afternoon, Glenn. Jace Price moving from Railways to Northampton the last couple of seasons. The ball going the way now of Murrumbine. He sends it into the full forward area. And here we might have a shot on goal because a nice mark is taken by the big fella in Higby. Now, Higby is about 40 metres out from goal, but he's directly in front. There's a breeze that will assist him, Glenn, but he doesn't want to play on. He gives it away to Murrumbine. Murrumbine has a shot on goal, doesn't make the distance, comes off hands and through for the minor score. So, just going through the motions, as you mentioned, Glenn, that sees the Rams go to 4 goals 8, and they lead the Hawks 13-7.
Yes, so Brigades will take a fair bit out of this game. They know that they will be improved with the inclusion of 3 or 4 players that aren't playing this afternoon. Northampton know that they will be improved by the inclusion of 5 or 6 players, but whether it'll translate out on the track next weekend, it'll be interesting to watch the fortunes of these two clubs as we go deeper into the final series as Brigades bring the ball out of defence. Goes the way of Ryder, and he has an opportunity now with Jamie Ryder getting a big kick up forward. Finds Ben O'Brien. Ben O'Brien goes by hand to Kalani Barton. Kalani Barton gets his ball up towards half forward, looking there for Jack Deschamps. But once again, the Northampton defender in Ethan Brown does well to slap the ball away. So there'll be a boundary throw-in here at GBSC Sports Park this last quarter of Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. This is the last round of home and away fixtures, and the three-quarter time score we had from the other game being played out at Greenough Oval, with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Rovers 11-10, Mullawar 7-6, 28 points the margin. Ball goes the way of Lewin Valley. He sees the ball across the boundary line, and there'll be a boundary throw-in. The pink ball just in front of our broadcast box here at GBSC Sports Park. Radio Mama, the home of GNFL footy.
The ball coming in is going to be taken back at Glenn Friends on Sunday tomorrow. Glenn, I'm catching up with a young man that certainly is doing well in his chosen trade. He's the apprentice of the year here in Western Australia, and Callum Mark was talking to him tomorrow on the program.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting. Callum certainly must have done very well. He played footy last week for Towns. He's coming back from injury. And, certainly wonderful to see a young tradesman being acknowledged like that.
Yeah, so catching up with Lewin Connolly, his employer tomorrow too. Of course, he is a building contractor in town, and just also talking about the state of the industry at the moment.
Yeah, well, that'll be very interesting because there's lots of pressure on the building industry. We hear about the lack of trades. We also hear about the high cost of construction. So it's big issues confronting the building industry at this stage, and it'll be interesting to see how many years it takes to get enough qualified tradespeople back into their business, but also see some reduction in costs of production too, because we do know that building construction, whether it be wood or steel, is very, very expensive at the moment. We see Kim Schofield get the ball back along the outer side and finds a teammate there in Ryder. Looking for some movement. Brigades are going through the motions and doing it pretty well at the moment. Looking there for the big fellow in Williamson. He couldn't mark the ball. Schofield cleverly soccers the ball forward, then goes back in to retrieve it. Picked up now by the Northampton player in Matty Bishop. He gets it out towards Liam Campbell. He's been well held today. Campbell goes back in. Beautiful pick up, but he's caught in possession now. Just got rid of the ball in time. Ball comes back towards Callum Teagle. There's a player down behind play. Looks to be in a fair bit of bother. Ball goes the way of Aaron McCartney. McCartney puts it on his boot. Gets it the way of Jace Price. No, the player, Tyler Caddy, is just cramped up. So good news there. I don't think it is as serious as it looked. He was in a bit of pain, but it was a cramp. Ball goes forward now, and it goes the way of Quinton Narkle. Quinton Narkle, of course, the brother of Johnny Narkle, one of the NBL 1 West players for the Buccaneers. And Quinton Narkle, only a young player, only played 2 or 3 games.
The best sixth player in the competition.
Yeah, which makes him very highly rated. So we wish the Bucks well tonight, and we wish Johnny Narkle well into the future in his pursuit of basketball. Comes the way now of the player there in Jesse Castleton. He goes with a short pass and finds the young man in Ben O'Brien. Ben O'Brien gets a kick forward, looking there for Jordan O'Brien. Jordan O'Brien goes by hand looking for Dale Williamson. Ball goes out of bounds, and there'll be a boundary throw-in just in front of the big crowd here at GBSC Sports Park. And people have probably been pretty entertained for the first half of the game, but since half-time, Brigades have continued to assert their authority. Northampton, their endeavour has been good, but it looks like they're all playing to get through and survive till next week. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, as I mentioned, come finals time next weekend.
Nearing toward full time here at GBSC Sports Park in the last home and away fixture for season 2022 in the GNFL. In it comes now, players setting themselves. It's won by Teakle on this occasion for Northampton. Only gets it down as far as the player there for Brigades, who sends it forward, but it too comes to the opposition. Jordan Murrumbine. Murrumbine goes laterally across the ground. He's looking for a player out there. He almost finds him. The player almost runs onto the ball, but it eventually goes the way of the player there in Jordan O'Brien, who gets the ball but loses possession. Northampton have possession again as they move down the middle of the ground. Going the way of Michael Wright. He gets a handball away to the big fella in Campbell. Campbell shoots on goal, goes across the face, but the defence for Brigades is not giving up as it comes back down the field. And at half back, the mark is almost taken by the player there for Brigades and Kim Schofield. Schofield doesn't take the mark, but doesn't have any opponent to beat. He plays on now, and centre wing it comes down. Looking into the sun, Jordan O'Brien almost takes the mark, but drops it on the last passage of that bit of play, or the last part of that passage of play. And in fact, he tackled his opponent a little high, and it's Bartolo who'll have the free kick.
He goes across the ground, finds Bobby Gibson. See caddies come off, and I don't think he'll come back on. They'll need to put him in cotton wool for next week. And I think it may have been a cramp. Let's hope it's only a cramp, not anything more sinister. Ball comes the way now of Jesse Castleton for the Hawks. Kicks the ball back. Once again, Aaron McCartney. He had to look into the sun there, but Aaron does well. Takes the mark, plays on with his beautiful left boot, goes forward and finds Jack Deschamps. The Northampton player was found napping, and Jack Deschamps was able to run away from the defender and kick the easiest of goals. And on the scoreboard for Poynton Building Company, Brigades get their 14th goal of the afternoon. Brigades go to 14 goals, 7, 91. They lead the Rams 4-8, 32.
And Jack Deschamps has worked his way into the game too, Glenn. Starting off the first term, not getting much of the ball, but as the game has unfolded into the last term, and he's had a few possessions, including a goal. And good position and a good kick on the run by Jack Deschamps. See the 14th goal of the afternoon for Brigades hit the scoreboard. As Glenn said, it's 14-7 plays 4-8. It's a big win to Brigades, and Coach Corey Foote, he sounded today a little bit sort of 6s and 7s about the form of his side to this point, Glenn, but he'll be happy with the result today.
Yeah, I think they've run themselves into pretty good form this afternoon, so that's a pretty good effort. So well done to Brigades this afternoon. The reigning premiers, of course, they have had an indifferent year, as you mentioned, but it's been interesting. Since three-quarter time, or since half-time, we've seen Brigades add 11 goals and Northampton have added 1 goal. So that sort of shows the dominance that we've had from the side there, and a very good effort there in the end from the Hawks. Ball's in the centre now with Jamie Williams. Jamie Williams gets boot to ball, kicks it up towards half forward. Nobody home for Northampton. And Brigades player there, Nathan Svensson, gets the free kick, and advantage rule paid. Goes the way of Ryder. He goes by hand, finds a teammate who gets the ball forward there in Sammy Millett. Millett gets it up towards Jack Deschamps, and Deschamps tries to kick it in towards Aaron McCartney, but it goes through, and the ball comes back towards Ethan Brown for Northampton. He goes by hand to the player there in Liam Paletti. Paletti goes to Jordan Murrumbine. Murrumbine goes back towards Bobby Gibson. Bobby Gibson has the ball on half back. Kicks it up towards half forward. Good strong mark there by Nathan Woodcock. Jared Woodcock, his brother, may come back into the lineup next week. Ball goes by hand to Bobby Gibson. Bobby Gibson is trying to get Northampton moving. But once again, Jesse Castleton, he's been pretty outstanding this afternoon as well.
Glenn,
so Jesse Castleton and those long sleeves, he does well. Lucky he doesn't play for Ross Lyon. Ross Lyon wouldn't let him wear a long sleeve. The ball goes forward and goes the way now of the player there in Mick Quick. Mick Quick goes the way of Joel Patrick. Joel couldn't mark the ball. Liam Campbell tries to pick up the ball, but Liam was caught in possession. The umpire said he didn't have prior opportunity, so the umpire will throw the ball up. Umpires this afternoon, umpires Brian Baker, Kevin Osmond and Theo Bennett doing the job for the GNFL umpires this afternoon.
Might be a little bit of time on in this quarter, Glenn, with all the goals the Brigades have kicked since half-time. Ball going forward now for the Hawks. Goes away to Deschamps. Deschamps into the full forward area. Williamson is a little bit late on the scene, and the mark is taken by his opposite number there for Northampton, but he goes across the face of goal. It's picked up by Ryder. Ryder tries to weave through a couple of opponents and comes off second best as the ball goes back the way of Northampton, but there's Deschamps. He gets it away to the player there, O'Brien. Out on the far side to Aaron McCartney, who shoots on goal, and the defender holds his head down as he hits the post and is only recorded as a point.
Yeah, good effort there. A minus score results. So for the scoreboard, it goes to 14 goals, 9, 92 for Brigades. They lead Northampton 4 goals, 8, 32. So the ball to be brought back into play, and the free kick, or the ball has gone out of bounds, so the ball goes the way of Ryder. This time an opportunity for Jamie Ryder. So Jamie Ryder to shoot on goal from the right forward pocket. Be a very difficult kick from here, but we know that these forwards these opportunist forwards like Jamie know how to kick him.
This.
Let's see how he goes. Puts it on his left boot, and it goes across the face of goal and through for a minus score. So on the Point and Building Company scoreboard, Brigades go to 14 goals, 9-93. They lead Northampton 4-8-32. Ball picked up by McGregor. He gets it forward, goes the way of Sammy Millett. Millett says, let me show you how it's done, boys. And Sam shoots on goal, but he's offline. And
all the
pretty good effort.
Are having a go.
Yeah, everyone's having a kick now and trying to get a score on the board. But it wasn't far off, and a good effort there from the player there in Sammy Millett. So the scoreboard, 93 points, Brigades, and we see Northampton a 32. So 93 to 32 as the ball goes forward, as the ball goes up towards the half-back line, and the ball comes the way there of Ethan Brown, I should say. Ethan Brown gets it up towards centre wing, looking for some movement. Comes the way of Brigades player in Evans, but a whistle on play. The ball will come back towards the centre wing position, and the free kick goes the way of Michael Wright Jr. Michael Wright for Northampton kicks it from centre wing up towards half forward. Northampton player there. Woodcock takes a good mark, gets it out, but there's the siren. Full time at the football, and the final game, round 17 of GNFL footy. And Brigades, the reigning premiers, have had a big and emphatic win over the third placed, who now may be fourth placed, Northampton. And we find Brigades 14-10-94. They lead and have won, defeated Brigades 4-8-32. And you're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
Today is Drendo Mallee, mate.